So first of all, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining this closed-door expert briefing session today. This is the fourth part in a series of gene and cell therapies organized thanks to the support of EUCOPE and Maertens Gene Therapies. I am Susana Solis, and I am co-hosting today's meeting together with my colleague, MEP Manuel Pizarro, who unfortunately will be late to the session, but he will join us in time to deliver his concluding remarks after the Q&A session. I have to say, as a member of the Environmental and Health Committee, but also as a member of the Artificial Intelligence Committee, that I am very passionate about building a more innovative Europe in the area of health. So I'm very happy to be here today to discuss this exciting topic of gene and cell therapies together with you and our experts. As you know, today's topic will focus on real-world evidence. And our aim is to better understand the benefits and challenges of real-world evidence in relation to gene and cell therapies, which is, of course, very timely, because as you know, the newly published European Health Data Space proposal has just came out. In my opinion, the European Health Data Space is an incredible opportunity to ensure meaningful data can be used for the benefit of clinicians, researchers, and patients, and of course, also for policymakers to be able to make informed decisions in health policy. In terms of today's agenda, we have a number of prominent experts with us who will give short presentation, and then it will be followed by a Q&A session, which is very important for us in order to better understand what is the real world evidence. And let me introduce shortly who will be our experts. First, Professor Alessandra Ferlini, Director of the Medical Genetics Unit at the University of Ferrara, Italy. Mr. Joe de Kock, the Chairman of the National Committee for Physicians and Health Insurance Funds and the National Joint Committee for Physicians in the Hospital at Recep Inami. Mr. Guillaume Bic from DG Santé from the European Commission, and Mrs. Elke Gruten, Head of EU Relations in Novartis. Before we start, I would like to remind everyone that the expert presentations will be recorded and made available online on the Transform website after the event. But the Q&A session will not be recorded and will follow the Chatham House rules in order we can ask whatever we need. And finally, please feel free to ask any question in the chat at any time, or to raise your hand in the Q&A session and I will give you the floor, but we will try to make so much questions, ask so many questions as possible. And now I would like to pass the floor to the organizer, Victor Maertens from EUCOPE, for some welcoming remarks. Welcome, Victor, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much and good morning. And let me start by thanking you, MP Solis, and your colleague MP Pizarro for hosting this, I think, important meeting. And obviously also thank you to all the other speakers that are joining us today. For those who don't know, my name is Victor Maertens. I'm the Government Affairs Manager at EUCOPE, the trade association predominantly for small and mid-sized innovative companies, where I lead our work on ATMPs. I think just touching on the topic of real-world evidence, I think real-world evidence is a key tool to unlocking the full potential of ATMPs. I think that potential exists all across the product lifecycle, from conducting basic research all the way through to the regulatory approval of these therapies that require a unique and different approach to evidence generation, and finally into kind of the post-authorization environment where real-world evidence can play an important role in facilitating outcomes-based payment models, innovative payment models, and risk-sharing agreements to make sure that these therapies move all the way through from great ideas to therapies that are made available to our patients. And I think one of the key benefits of real-world evidence and kind of the problems they bring is overcoming some of the uncertainties that exist with ATMPs, especially when we look at clinical trials and try to kind of ascertain the long-term potential longevity of these types of therapies. And I think today's meeting to kind of have a discussion about some of these topics is incredibly timely. As MP Solis already mentioned, the European Health Data Space has just come out, and I think there's a lot to look forward in that. I think implementation there is going to be key. And similarly, we're looking at a number of other legislative proposals coming down the road as well, where the conversation on real-world evidence will continue to grow in importance. So I think today's conversations might help us shine some light on some of these topics, and hopefully indeed it will be as informative as possible. So looking forward to a great session and hopefully a good discussion as well. So thank you.
Thank you very much. My name is Manuel Pizarro. I'm a Portuguese MEP belonging to the S&D group, but I am also a doctor of internal medicine. I'm delighted to be here today and to co-host together with my colleague, MEP Solis. Thank you to all the expert speakers for your very informative presentations on the topic that I believe is very relevant at the moment and for the future. As a physician, I have seen firsthand the importance of bridging the gap between research and clinical practice. It is key that we ground our clinical and healthcare decision-making in data that reflects what happens in science and innovation. This discussion has also been particularly timely considering the recent European Health Data Space proposal. EU-level initiatives, such as that initiative, are key to facilitating the sharing of high-quality health data and bettering patient outcomes, especially if we speak in rare disease patients, which, as its name indicates, are a few people in each of the diseases. We are in a time of change. The pandemic has highlighted now more than ever the power of healthcare data and real-world evidence. And I hope that we can use this momentum to create the most meaningful framework for the benefit of all European people, especially the patients. I hope that today was just the first step of our collaboration, and I look forward to continuing the important dialogue with all relevant stakeholders, especially in the context of the European health data space. Thank you very much to everyone for attending today. And I must state that if you would be interested in the recordings of the session, please note that it will be uploaded on the Transform Alliance website and circulate to all the attendees. I hope that everyone can continue to join our work and have a nice day. Thank you very much.